Sendi. As long as in the impenyu, life ungaite magnificent. Nda order 1,000 cubic meters. Isai muritzo ngebendi regitas. Delta ngai unze hopos with malitas. Shock that if I is a dance unge chipas. And this mondi asibondi nda kitisa. 1:1 oskidi usazuyitisa. Imeti zipita urukuti yitisa. Mira mafani melodi ndotikisa. Akaka songu kejeja. Kushika saita beta. Kongo dira mafu. This time I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro. Shefe kuwadira majecha. Tino wina ndabecha. I whiny I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro. Shefe kuwadira majecha. Tino wina ndabecha. Geta rukupisa mdo Oktober. Jecha rapinda ndo offloader. Inisa gafa niwone sei pakata kwa dinosia pasopa. Sakangora pusheni. Kisina medicine Nzara parokesheni Kaparese tekiye kisheni Ndapinza foni kula fachi Burita imarori mugaraji Zunu zaka tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda ze masaji Akaka songu kejecha Kushika saita beta Kongo dira mafu Life ungai kikonge napu This time I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Chese kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha I whiny I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Chese kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha I'm not sorry tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda ze masaji Akaka songu kejecha Kushika saita beta Kongo dira mafu Life ungai kikonge napu This time I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Shefe kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha I whiny I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Shefe kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha Ufani kandiri seni Ndaisa odaye river sendi As long as ndiri mpenyu Life ungaite magnificent Nda order 1,000 cubic meters Isai muritzo ngebendi regitas Delta ngai unze hopos with malitas Shock that if I is a dance unge chipas And this mondi asibondi nda kitisa 1:1 oskidi usazuyitisa Imeti zipita urukuti yitisa Mira mafani melodi ndotikisa Akaka songu kejecha Kushika saita beta Kongo dira mafu Life ungai kikonge napu This time I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Shefe kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha I whiny I'm not sorry Ndapinza 40 maro Shefe kuwadira majecha Tino wina ndabecha Geta rukupisa mdo Oktober Jecha rapinda ndo offloader Inisa gafa niwone sei pakata kwa dinosia pasopa Sakangora pusheni Kirini kisina medicine Nzara parokesheni Kaparese tekiye kisheni Ndapinza foni kula fachi Burita imarori mugaraji Zunu zaka tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda ze masaji Akaka songu kejecha Kushika saita beta Kongo tinya tinya pakuda ginya ginya pasi kuda se massage akakasongu kejecha kusika saita peta kungodira mafu life ungaiki
Can you hear me? Please confirm if the sound is good and I am loud and clear. Please confirm. Can you hear me? Please confirm if Okay, so it seems like the sound is back now. So good afternoon once again, viewers. We sincerely apologize for the technical glitch that happened earlier. So it's me, Nicole Mudzuri, and you're watching TechMac TV. So today we're basically going to be we're going to be analyzing actually the march that happened on Thursday, the 27th of November in the capital city of Harare, when the MDC had their march. It was their demonstration / march. So we're going to be analyzing that. So tell us what you think. So when you leave your comments, do you think the turnout at the march was sufficient, or people were just like came out in small numbers, with all things being equal? Tell us what you think. So we're going to give you just a brief video of some of the highlights and of people at the march on Thursday. So stay tuned and watch.
tinya tinya pakuda ginya ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha. Ndaota 1000 cubic meters isai muridzo ngebendi rejitas delta ngaiunze hopo zvimaliters zvakuda tifaise dhanzo ngechipas handisi mondi asi bondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi usazviitisa imetsi dzipidza uri kutiitisa mira mafani melodi ndodzikisa akakasonguke jecha kusvika zvaita beta kungodira mavhu laifu ngaikikonge nabvu. This time I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro chese kungodira majecha tino wina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro chese kungodira majecha tino wina ndabecha geto rukupisa mwe Oktoba jecha rapinda ndo offloada inisa gafa ndione sei pakatakwa ndinosiya pasopa saka ngora pusheni. 1, 2. Can anyone confirm if you can hear me? Thank you so much for being in touch, Alfred. Can you hear me? Can you please confirm if there's any sound? Please, can anyone confirm if they can hear me? 1, 2. Okay, so we're gonna go to a short break whilst I wait for your confirmations if you guys can hear me. Please, when you can hear me, please just confirm, just write to us, tell us if you can hear me. We're having a little bit of struggle with our sound, so we're gonna take a short break. Yes, we zimalitas zvakudatifaise dhanzo ngechipazi handisi mondi yasibondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi usazviitisa imetsi dzipi dzauri kutiitisa mira mafani melodi ndodzikisa akakasongu kejecha kusvika zvaita beta kungodira mavhu laifu ngaikikonge navhu. This time I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha getorukupisa ngeoktoba jecha rapinda ndoofloda inise gafa ndione sei pakatakwa ndinosiya pasopa saka ngorapusheni kirinikisina mediseni nzara parokesheni kaparesetekiyekisheni ndapinza foni kunapachi uritsaimari mugarachi zvakatinyatinya pasi kuda zvomasachi kusvika zvaita beta kungodira mafu laifunga ikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry. Ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha.
If there's any sound. Okay, good afternoon viewers. My name is Mudzuri and thank you for watching TechMac TV. Today we're going to be analyzing the MDC March that was done recently on Thursday on the 27th of November 2018 in the capital of Harare. So today we're going to be looking at the highlights. So first we're going to look at what do you guys think about the attendance? Do you think people that attended were good enough? Is because there has been like quite different views. Some people were saying that there were few people, some were saying people came in their numbers. So tell us what you think. Do you think people came in their numbers? Do you think that it was a demonstration that would literally like knock off people's feet or anything? So let us know what you think. So whilst you're on that tip, whilst you're still writing to us, telling us what you think if people came in their numbers, we're going to give you just a glimpse of a video on the highlights of what happened on Thursday. So we're going to give you a video so you can watch. Tell us what you think. Do you think do you think people came in their numbers, or they were just, you know, few, so few? Thank you so much for commenting and thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so that next time whenever we're live, you just get a notification that we are live. Thank you for watching TechMac TV, everyone. Fortunate Nyati, thank you so much for confirming. And so Albert, yes, thank you for the correction. It is indeed on the 29th of November. Fortunate says that there were a lot of people. Doubt Swanda says that many, but we need more than that. Okay, I'm not quite sure if you need more of people or you need more of what exactly, but thank you regardless for commenting. So we'll just get into it, the highlights. Let's talk about the good stuff that happened and the bad stuff and the very controversial stuff that happened on Thursday. So some of the highlights that of what happened on Thursday was that the MDC were booing the MDC Vice President Elias Mudzuri. So, to those who never watched, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what happened. So what happened was Elias Mudzuri arrived at Africa Unity Square, and you always know how Amos Chibaya is always the MC. So Amos Chibaya gave the mic to Elias Mudzuri so that he could talk to the people, he could greet the people, and basically converse to them. So what then happened was when Mudzuri, when he took to the podium so that he could address the people, he was booed. Some people were just telling him to leave the stage and basically leave the square completely. So of course Chibaya tried to make the situation better by then taking the mic from Elias Mudzuri, who was completely stunned by the reaction of the people. So he took the mic and then he tried to engage the crowd and talk to them and make people do the MDC slogans, but then still it was just demeaning for Mr. Mudzuri. So then he just went and stood there. So the first question that I have for you is, do you think that the reaction that Elias Mudzuri received at Africa Unity Square was fair? Do you think that people were justified to behave in the way that they did towards him? So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to read the comments on what you guys think on what happened to Elias Mudzuri on Thursday.
Tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha kusvika saita peta kungodira mavu life ngaikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha ufanika ndiri seni ndaisa oda yeriver sendi as long as ndiri mpenyu life ngaite magnificent ndamota 1000 cubic meters isaimuridzo ngebhendi rejitas delta ngaiunze hopo zvimaliters zvakudatifaise dhanzo ngechipas handisi mondi yasibondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi usazviitisa imeti dzipi.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for watching TechMac TV, and those joining us, we're analyzing the MDC March that was done on Thursday, the 29th of November. So before we went to the break, we're talking about how the MDC supporters that were at, or should I say people, because it was a mixture of both, people at Africa Unity Square on Thursday, they booed Elias Mudzuri. So I was asking if he indeed deserved that. Did he deserve it? So what the story behind the booing is that Mr. Mudzuri attended a State House function after MDC members of parliament were violently removed from parliament after they refused to stand when the president, His Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa, when he came into the parliament. So these are rules. You're supposed to stand when the president comes in. They're supposed to stand, but apparently they did not do that, which led them to being violently removed from parliament. Now you need to understand, after this happened, What then, Mr. Mudzuri, the footage that flooded the papers and the media was him at State House on his own. So basically that is what people are saying, or should I say members of the MDC are saying, that what he did was even beyond. It was so low of him to do it, because they are saying that he was the only member who actually visited the function, and he's a senator. Yes, of course, he then justified. He wrote a letter. He wrote an address. It's not a letter per se, but it's an address on social media. When he was explaining why he was there, he was saying that as the senator, they are supposed to meet the president of the country. But however, there are also people like MDC Youth Assembly, Love Mochi Noputa, who immediately have called for the expulsion of Mr. Mudzuri, saying that he went against what they had agreed on as a party, because him then attending, this is according to Love More, him attending meant that they legitimized what they have been saying, that they do not recognize as President Mnangagwa as the president of Zimbabwe. So him then going against was like doing something that was completely different of what he was as a party, of what they stand for. And we have had situations in the MDC where they say stuff and they don't exactly go through what they say for one or the other reason. So these are some of the reasons. And then and then in a video, there's a video that went viral of Murisi Zwizwai and Charlton Wende, who queried why Mudzuri was there. We also understand that he's not the only senator for the party. So the question was that why now would he attend that function in particular on his own, when there are other senators at the party. So basically that's why there has been like a bit of friction between Mudzuri and other members of the MDC and supporters in particular. So tell us what you think. Do you think that the people had a right to boo him, or it was completely justified to go and see the president at the White House, who had extended an invite, so that he meets all the members of parliament at the State House? So tell us what you think. So I'm going to go through some of these comments. Alfred says that it wasn't fair, though I blame the leadership for inviting him to the podium when they knew the news that were there. The issues surrounding Mudzuri, they should have just waited for the dust to settle. Thank you very much, Alfred, for the comment. Okay, yes, when there was the MDC were addressing about the demonstration at Morgan Changirai House on Wednesday. That is, there were questions asked if the MDC, what it meant of Mudzuri being at the State House, and the MDC said that they had no comment. They will, however, get back to us after the event that happened on Thursday. So I think we'll just wait to hear what exactly happened. Why did Mudzuri go if it was against, and why are people calling for his expulsion? So thank you very much, Alfred, for saying that how they treated him was not fair, and you're saying that the leadership should be blamed, should partly take a fall for it. And Doutsbanda said it was fair. MDC belongs to Zimbabweans, not in MDC leadership. Sorry, let me take that again. It was fair. MDC belongs to Zimbabweans, not anyone in MDC leadership. Okay, thank you very much, Doubt. We hear what you're saying. MDC does not belong to the party itself, but it belongs to Zimbabweans. That's what he said. And Matthew is saying, at first he said the voice of the people is the voice of God, but now people are now crying and he shuts them down by the barrels of the gun. Matthew, I will ask you a question directly. What do you think about Elias Mudzuri's treatment by MDC supporters at Africa Unity Square on Thursday? Do you think that the reasons that they were booing him, and how some of the leadership itself has called for his expulsion and treating him like a traitor for going against what they had agreed on as a party. Tell us what you think on that. Alfred says we lost sound again. Can anyone confirm if there is sound? Alfred, can you hear me? Okay, so I think we have sound, so we're going to continue with our discussion. So yes, oh, okay, so Taurai says that by default, a friend to my enemy becomes my enemy. It was great. It was, sorry, that was a good treat for Mudzuri. Okay, so Taurai is for the idea. He agrees, strongly agrees that yes, Mudzuri got what he deserved when he got booed on. Okay, so do you guys also think that he should be expelled based on that? Because, you know, he's basically being treated like a traitor in the MDC, and some of the claims that are coming from people, yeah, he's not like their favorite person at this point. So, yeah, there's like a lot of talking going on. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. And I hope to hear from you and what you think on what happened on Thursday.
Tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda se massage akakasongu kejecha kusika saita peta kungodira mafu life ungai kikonge nafu. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro chese kungodira majecha tino wina ndabecha I whine I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro chese kungodira majecha tino wina ndabecha. Ufani kandiri seni ndaisa oda ya river sendi. As long as ndiri mpenyu life ungaite magnificent. Nda oda 1000 cubic meters isai muridzo ngebendire jitters. Delta ngai unze hobo zvimaliters zvakudatifa ise danzo ngechippers. Handisi mondi yasibondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi usazviitisa. Imetsi dzipidza uri kutiitisa. Mira mafani melodi ndodzikisa akakasongu kejecha kusvika zvaita peta kungodira mafu life ungai kikonge nafu. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro chese kungodira majecha tino wina ndabecha.
Welcome back, viewers. So thank you for watching. I'm going to go through some of the comments that have been left on our Facebook page. Malak says that the reaction was befitting to a traitor. Those are the games of politics. Do not be too good or too bad. Thomas says a big distraction from the major issues facing Zimbabwe. Thomas, thank you so much for your confirmation of sound. Nelson says Mudzuri is focused on the throne and nothing else. And Mukudze says he deserved it because how can you be against the whole party and they cannot tell Mudzuri that he was not supposed to come, because it would be like they are protecting him. He was supposed to be there and face what the party people wanted. So Mukudze, are you saying that it was right for them to supposedly throw him under the bus, to let people decide what they wanted to do with him? Because some of these comments of them expelling him, they are coming from the leadership itself. Some of the leaders, they're actually saying that because he's a traitor and he doesn't listen and he is doing his own thing as an individual, he must be removed. So Nelson, says that Mudzuri and Monzora were both treated like traitors, but it seems Monzora has managed to convince most people that is not pro-ZANU. Mudzuri has been left alone. Malak says that, but I also believe that the MDC's top brass put a final nail to Mudzuri's ambitions by exposing him to the mobilized supporters. That was a bit harsh for a vice president of his caliber. Thank you so much, Malak. So from what I can gather from what everyone is saying here is that Mudzuri deserved what he got on Thursday, and according to Malak, he's saying that it's more of a conspiracy theory. It has to do with the leadership itself. They want to remove him, and they're sort of like exposing him for what he really is. That is according to Malak. Thank you so much for leaving the comments on Facebook. So we're going to move to the next agenda, which is the petition itself. We're going to be looking at the petition, what was said in the petition. Did it make sense? What is the future of Zimbabwe according to this petition? So stay tuned, and when I come back after 30 seconds, we'll continue watching the petition, hearing about the petition, that is.
Tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha kusvika saita peta kungodira mavu life ngaikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha ufanika ndiri seni ndaisa oda yeriver sendi as long as ndiri mpenyu life ngaite magnificent ndaota 1000 cubic meters isai muridzo ngebendi rejitas delta ngaiunze hopo zvimaliters zvakudatifaise dhanzo ngechipazi handisi mondi asi bondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi usazviitisa imetsi dzipi dzauri kutiitisa mira mafani melodi ndodzikisa akakasonguke jecha kusvika zvaita peta kungodira mavu life ngaikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha getorukupisa ngeoktoba jecha rapinda ndoofloda inise gafa ndionesei pakatakwa ndinosiya pasopa saka ngora pusheni kirinikisina mediseni nzara parokesheni kaparesetekiyekisheni ndapinza foni kula pachi buritsai marori mugaraji zvinhu zvakatinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha kusvika zvaita peta kungodira mavu life ngaikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha I'm not sorry
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for watching. So we get back into the petition, what was said, the terms of the petition, and what the keynotes of the... So I'm going to start with the keynotes, actually, of the petition. So the number one, according to the MDC, they note that those that are occupying the high offices are not there through the democratic process of a free, fair, and credible election, having imposed themselves into the leadership through the 30th of July disputed election, whose results are untraceable, unverifiable, and unreliable. That's key point number one. Number two, they argue that the key and credible observer missions condemned the election, highlighting that the process fell short of minimum standards, in particular the independent EU observer, the IRI, and the NDI report, and the Commonwealth Observer Mission report. Number three, they noted that a crisis of legitimacy emanating from the events of November 2017 has therefore not cured and now reforms the core of the Zimbabwean crisis. The last keynote of the MDC petition is that the economy has become the immediate casualty of the crisis of legitimacy, and no tangible solution has been offered in this respect. And they go on to say that the social agenda has been abandoned by the authorities, who now pursue an agenda of self-aggrandizement and enrichment. So the MDC, in their petition, they are saying that the economy has, however, suffered, and people are having issues to do with inflation and fuel shortages, basic commodity shortages, and pharmaceuticals, saying that they want to be paid in US dollars, whereby the majority of the population are using the bone notes. So they are directing all of those problems that Zimbabweans are facing to the government, and saying that it is because they stole the election that's allegedly, by the way. Allegedly, they stole the elections. That is why people are suffering. So tell us what you think. Do you think that what the MDC is saying is true? Tell us what you think. So I'll be going through the comments here and there. And so there are demands in the petition. So we're going to go through some of these demands just shortly. And I'm going to read some of the comments. Okay, so these comments are from behind. Okay, they're still referring to the issue to do with Elias Mudzuri. But we will, however, come back to it, the issue that is for Elias Mudzuri. So we just continue with the petition. So the immediate interim demands that the MDC want. So maybe if I can give you a glimpse of what the petition looks like, because these demands, they're in two, by the way. They are just demands, and then they're like the immediate interim demands. So I'm gonna give you a glimpse of what the demands are. Okay, no, these are the interim demands. Okay, so these are the demands. So basically, they are advocating for consultational reforms politically, electoral reforms, legal reforms. I think although some of these things they have been talked about, Advocate Nelson Chamisa has been talking about them over and over again, and we've heard this. But it's also nice just to get a glimpse of what the petition also looks like. So this is like the broader demands that the MDC has, what they want to see and what they want to be worked on, the economic stabilization and social agenda. And they go on to say that Zimbabwe is a country, it needs a national healing and things like that. So let's go to the immediate interim demands, because I feel like these demands are affecting Zimbabweans on a daily basis. So it's more important if we just hear what, according to the petition, what the petition says when it comes to the demands. So it says that pending dialogue and discussion above, we demand the following measures to be taken immediately. So the first measure that they want to be taken care of immediately is the immediate scrapping of the 2% money transfer tax. We have interviewed people in the streets, in the banks, everywhere, with their regards to what they think about the 2% money transfer tax, and people have really complained that this is quite a lot of money. You know, already, say you transfer your money from your bank to your eCash or your whatever you use for your mobile transaction or anything. So what then happens is that you're charged twice. So you charge the 2%, and then when you want to transfer your money from your phone for you to purchase, you're also charged. So that means you're basically getting charged twice. So people have really, you know, they've really complained about this, and also not even people, but also corporates have raised their concerns on this issue of the 2% money transfer tax. So the second one is the immediate scrapping of the bond note. So you'd find that in pharmaceuticals around the country, they have been demanding the use of US dollars, and you'd find that you know, when you go to a pharmacy and you want to purchase your medicine, you will be in a very tough position. Like, you will be cornered. You really need that medication, and then you are charged US dollars. So what does this mean to someone who is actually being paid bond notes, and not even through cash means, you know, but it's like a bank transfer, but it's bond notes. So some of these things are happening. So according to the petition, they are advocating for scrapping of bond notes. So basically they are saying that the country should dollarize. So the third demand is that the immediate scrapping of measure to levy duty on certain imports in US dollars. So if you heard the budget by Professor Mudzuri, the finance minister, he said that drivers have already been purchasing cars in US dollars, so they should pay the duty in US dollars. So, but then we come back to the fact that who is getting US dollars? Who is getting paid by US dollars? People have to burn money, even if it's said that it's 1:1. But we all know the black market is not charging 1:1. The rate of the bond and the US dollar is just continuously fluctuating. So the fourth demand is the immediate provision of foreign currency to pharmacies to enable the same to sell drugs in local currency. So that's almost the immediate, same as the immediate scrapping of the bond note. So what they are saying is that pharmacies should be given a provision of foreign currency so that they sell these drugs in the local currency that everyone has. Number 5 is the immediate liberalization of the exchange rate. And number 6 is ensuring fuel and other goods and services are readily available and sold in local currency. So you'd find that if you go around, particularly in Harare, if you go around different shops, it's really not 1:1. It's like the black market is determining what the rate is. So when you get into a shop, there's a price tag for the US dollar, and there's the price tag of the bond note, and there's a price tag for the for the eCash or telecash or whatever. So this is really, those are different prices, but it's for the same commodity. And I understand the bond the bond is actually not 1:1. So you can't then expect something when it's going for $5 US dollars to go for 5 bond notes, because it's not the same. So yes, so they are saying that to ensure that there are no shortages and of fuel and basic goods, everything should be available and sold in our local currency. So the demands go on to say, we contend that failure to act on these issues will result in the continuation and the impalpable suffering of our people. Fragility will turn into state failure. Chaos and implosion will be imminent. We therefore demand an agent saving of our country for and behalf of students, workers, farmers, war veterans, business leaders, women, youth, minority groups, people living with disability, traditional leaders, vendors, and churches. So now I'm just going to come back to the comments. I just want to hear what you guys think of the petition. Are the demands that they are making, do they really address people's concerns, people's problems on a daily basis? And even if, so they are saying that with these demands, they are calling for a political dialogue where they are going to discuss their 5-point plan. So do you think that the political dialogue and the 5-point plan will make the country according to them as they see it? Do you think the country will move forward, or will just continue going in circles and more circles when we're still trying to figure out where we are going as a country? So I'm gonna go back a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna check our Facebook for comments. So whilst we are waiting to hear what you're saying or what your thoughts are, we'll go back to a short break. We're gonna have a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna hear what you're saying and what you think on the petition.
Tinya pakuda ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha kusvika saita peta kungodira mavu life ngaikikonge navo. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 maro zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha. Ufanika ndiri seni ndaisa oda ya river sendi, as long as ndiri mpenyu life ngaite magnificent. Nda oda 1000 cubic meters isai muridzo ngependi.
Viewers, so I'm going through some of the comments that you left for us on Facebook, and Malak says, in as much as their grievances are genuine and represent the will of the people of Zimbabwe, do you think SADC and AU can resolve these national issues? That's a very good question. Malak, thank you for your comment. By law, SADC is actually supposed to contribute. They are supposed to sort of contribute and see how legit their petition, or not so legit of their petition, how it's supposed to be. So them being like a body that sort of like governs the whole of Southern Africa and countries in there, it is very relevant for them to, to write to them and to tell them, even the AU itself. I'm not so sure how that's going to turn out, because you know how the AU chairman Kagame dismissed how he knew Advocate Nelson Chamisa earlier. But anyway, I think that was just some of those things. But anyway, so before we close, I think I'm just going to take one more comment and see what you guys are saying, and but you guys are really not commenting. That's the thing, though. Thank you, Nelson, for coming through. Nelson says that the petition is a good idea, but more force is needed. People should unite and pressure the ruling party to act. More people from towns and rural areas should join the struggle. Okay, so Nelson, do you think that people that showed were not, sufficient to make the petition? And, the problem is when you start mentioning about force, I don't know if you mean like people should come together, and then like move the petition forward, or you mean people should use more force, because that would be what the party has strongly urged, that they do not use force, but they use democratic means. So, but thank you so much, Nelson, for your comment. And I will just briefly check the the YouTube comments. Okay, so I've noticed that people still commenting on the Mudzuri scandal. So what I'm gonna do is, before I close, I'm gonna take one comment for the Mudzuri booing that I mentioned earlier when we started, and I'm also gonna take one comment for the petition before we close. So I'm hoping that when I open my comments, I'll be seeing something new that I haven't seen before. Okay, so I'm going through the comments right now. Okay, so whilst we are going through the comments, so this, oh, okay, awesome. All right, so another comment here says that President Chamisa and Mnangagwa, they must set a political dialogue. Okay, so I think, thank you so much for your comment, Peter. So Peter is saying that there is need for a political dialogue between the two people so that they agree on how to move the country forward. So if earlier this week Mr. Charamba said that the president was willing to talk to Mr. Chamisa only if he accepts that he was defeated. So that's a space for, you know, dialogue. But now we don't exactly know how that is going to come out, how that is going to pan out, knowing that the MDC has been making quite a lot of noise and questioning the legitimacy of President Mnangagwa. So however, so I'm gonna come to a close now, and I'm gonna read my last comment. It says that that could be the only way to fight the regime. So this comment is replying to the earlier comment that said the petition is a good idea, but more force is needed. People should unite and pressure the ruling elite to act. More people from towns and rural areas should join in on the struggle. So that the comment that I'm reading now is the response to the earlier comment. It says that could be the only way to fight the regime, but lives will be lost again, and the commission will nail opposition leaders. Okay. In another comment here says that from Vuka, Zimbabwe, it says the truth is people have to fight the small elite. We have a very arrogant, dangerous, bloodthirsty, clueless, and incapable ruling party. Okay. That got serious really fast. But thank you very much for coming through. Thank you for that comment. So at the end of the day, if I was to say something, I would not call for violence, because that is no way to go in any setting whatsoever. It's not a way to go, and people will die, and you just cannot take that route. And Zimbabweans are peaceful people. We don't fight, you know. So thank you so much for that comment. Up until we have a backbone to fight the government, we are doomed. Okay. No, that is not a way to go. Violence is no, because what happens with violence is there is no winner really when it comes to violence. People just die, you know. People just die, and there's nothing that you can do with that. Like, as you know, what exactly are you going to be fighting about? So I strongly disagree with taking violence as a route. It's not okay. People should not, because there are also casualties, you know. Only if it targets the specific people that are violent, that was gonna be, you know, at least acceptable. But it's not, because even people that won't be demonstrating will be affected by that same thing. So you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for joining us. So please remember to like our Facebook page, our Twitter handle, and to also subscribe on YouTube. So whenever we have anything that is live, it just pops on your PC, on your phone, so that you can connect with us. Oh, you are trying to call. Apparently our lines are not open for today. My apologies, Vuka Zimbabwe. You're gonna have to try fixing our call lines some other time. However, like I said earlier on, thank you so much for calling. From me, Nicole Mudzuri, and the crew behind the scenes, thank you so much. Goodbye and stay blessed.
Zvinhu zvakatinya-tinya pakuda ginya-ginya pasi kuda zvemasaji akakasonguke jecha kusvika zvaita peta kungodira mavhu laifu ngaikikonge navhu. This time I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 marori zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha aiwaini I'm not sorry ndapinza 40 marori zvese kungodira majecha tinowina ndabecha ufanika ndiri seni ndaisa oda yeriver sendi as long as ndiri mpenyu life ngaite magnificent ndaota 1000 cubic meters isai muridzo ngebhendi rejitas delta ngaiunze hopo zvimalitas zvakuda tifaise dhanzo ngechipas handisi mondi asi bondi ndakitisa 1:1 oskidi